Hello and welcome to Team Fortress TV. Thank you for joining us. We are back this evening with some ETF2L. This is season 26, week 6. We're going to be taking a look at Nunya versus nerdRage. CP Gullywash and CP Granary Pro will be our maps this evening. But my name is Frysk and I am joined by TurboTabs on the mic, and we have Amik doing the camera this evening. Turbo, what's up?
Nothing much. I did some exercise today, and it turned out to be the worst mistake I've ever done in my life. Never going to do that again. I feel dreadfully ill now, but otherwise, again, hype for some TF2.
Yes, fear not, Turbo. We can relax now and be lazy and watch some video games.
I'm an e-sport,
Exactly.
caster, not a sport caster.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be maybe not the most high-profile match of the season.
How dare you, Frysk, okay? This is going to be match of the season. No, match of TF2.
Turbo, I think you're getting a bit carried away there, maybe. Just a smidge. But, I mean, yeah, more TF2 action for us.
Oh, man. This is the match. This is it. You've got to distill your hype into the audience, and that's what I'm doing right here. I know a lot of people will look at Nunya versus nerdRage. That's going to be easy for nerdRage. Oh, no. Nunya have been training with Chinese weights. They've been feigning that they've been playing bad, and this is the night that they're going to turn up for us.
A bit of an odd night to pick, considering I don't think they can make playoffs anymore, Turbo, but I would still hope Nunya could have some sort of monumental performance to take out the newly named nerdRage, also known as top5rocket. So yes, they will be going by the name nerdRage today.
Yeah, that's going to get awfully confusing. It's only a step away from Arctic Foxes getting signed up by Crowns, and then we're going to have 7 Crowns, nerdRage, all in a blender.
For sure, at different ends of the table.
Yeah, awkward family meeting.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, yeah, nonetheless, it certainly will be a fun game to watch. Which map, Turbo, are you excited for more than the other, Gullywash or Granary?
I do like me a bit of Gullywash. It's very keen to the soldiers. Well, actually, they're both very soldier-friendly maps, Granary and Gullywash, but Gullywash is kind of a playground for the roaming soldier, and I do love me a good bit of roaming.
Yeah, absolutely. We may be able to get some head-to-head stats up on the stream, perhaps. But I mean, maybe we should take a look at the lineups for both these teams. Turbo, if you want to run us down Nunya.
Sure, buddy. That will be Hems will be playing the scout role along with his partner Crafty Dave. We've also got Pappy on the roaming soldier, Yellen on the pocket soldier, Rat Slayer on the demo man, and finally Corndog on that medic class.
And on the side of nerdRage, we have Ombrak playing medic, Namtak on demo man. Soldiers will be Medico and Korvac. Korvac, I believe, is the roamer. And we have Blade and Neo on scout. So very strong roster here on nerdRage, and I mean, they've certainly proven themselves over the course of the season, Turbo.
I know, it's been an incredibly good season for them. I mean, a lot of people, I was tuning into Pirate Radio, I think yesterday actually, where it came out, and they were citing that top5rocket, as they were previously known, had a terrible season beforehand, and everyone's dead surprised that top5, or nerdRage, I should say, are doing so well this season. But if you took a little closer look at the previous season, Frysk, those matches were awfully close, and the scorelines were very deceiving. So the fact that nerdRage, got to get used to that, nerdRage have just toppled ever so slightly and improved here and there, it has pushed them over that line that gives them that success from going from 6th place to 2nd place that they are at now.
I think they're... Is it 2nd? I think they might be in 3rd. I think they're just
3rd.
Yeah, they're 1 point behind Champ GG.
Okay.
But I think, I mean, I suppose regardless of how this game goes, I think nerdRage certainly have a pretty good chance of making playoffs. But Nunya, in 7th, or well, tied for 8th with, tied for 7th with 3 out of 6, with 3 points at the moment. So I mean, Turbo, maybe we will see some spectacular play out of Nunya to pick up a map in this matchup.
I mean, I know I did say it was a con earlier. Of course, I stick by my words, but if I had to analyze from the way that Nunya have been playing so far, I think maybe it's a bit of a relief for them now that all this pressure is taken off of them, and there's no major, I guess, like, what am I trying to say? So
Yeah.
as at the start of the season, you've got all these expectations, goals ahead of you, and stuff like that, and all this pressure almost. You're not sure how the way things are, but now that you're training towards the end of the season and things are just about set in stone where you're going to place in the tables, maybe there's all that pressure's been taken off of them, and who knows, maybe if they're in a no risk environment, they might turn out to play a lot better in a relaxed state than some of these, I guess, more pressured games.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe they should have pulled a 3 out of 6 and just mixed up the classes. But I suppose they're still comfortable just with their usual lineup. However, at the moment, there are some stats on the stream TurboTabs. Is there any stats that are jumping out to you? Any matchups that you'd like to take a look at?
The initial matchup that jumps out at me is just the difference maker between Medico and Yellen. Medico just seems to be a whole new beast compared to Yellen. And, I mean, it's no surprise Medico is usually the one that is cited every time nerdRage is brought up into conversation, but I think he's just a bit of a front man. I know that nerdRage are all quite talented, really, in their own regard, but they just don't get the limelight as much as Medico because he played on a team before, a Prem team before top5rocket.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's considering the scouts, both the scout pairs for each team. I mean, you might be inclined to say Blade and Neo have the edge on Hemps, and I think Yumpu is listed here, but I think it will be Crafty Dave actually stepping in today. But
I haven't updated those. I haven't updated the team since week 1. Embarrassing. But
yeah, I haven't seen Crafty Dave play yet actually, so I'll have to see how he'll be able to maybe deal with the scouts of top5rocket. And I've just made that mistake again, nerdRage.
It's okay. We'll get better as the night grows later. But I think there are some other little stat pages out there that production could probably flip through the book in the back pages. See if we can pull out a random class matchup. But other than that, I don't see any.
I did just notice. I think the Condog had a lot more deaths per minute than Korvac. Not Korvac.
Oh man,
Umbrak.
It's Nefako versus Yumper. This is going to be probably the most difficult one to read because Yumper isn't playing on the team anymore, and I'm pretty sure Nefako is Neo, but Gentleman John's stats does not take kindly to those squiggles on top of the E's, it seems.
Yeah, maybe we should just get rid of that. But I mean, I think if there's anything to draw from that head-to-head, I think Neo, I suppose, honestly, would probably have the edge on any scout.
All right, now we're cooking. Callback versus Pappy. Now, about talking about those Romans that I was getting back to earlier, get to see where Callback roughly sits amongst all his Roma brethren throughout the entire season, because Callback is usually sitting in the shadow behind Medico, as I pointed out earlier, and it goes to show that he's been doing quite well for himself. I mean, out of all the soldiers this season, he's sitting in about 5th place on kill to death ratio, even 4th place if you include the assists as well, so he really is a contributor when it comes to his team and just overall in the soldier leaderboard.
Yeah, Korvac, he seems to like to kind of make lots of individual plays, and he does have a lot of coordinated play with Medico, his other soldier on nerdRage. And it seems to work pretty well for them. As you can see, the average kills per map, he's got 5 more against Pappy. But I mean, I think Pappy does somewhat like to play quite an aggressive soldier style, especially at mids. I think he likes to just create space for his team by immediately just trying to go for some kind of aggressive rocket jump. But I think, you know, it might be down to the roamers to decide the mids in this game. Do you think, Turbo?
Oh yeah, most definitely, especially with these R2 maps tonight. But when I was looking at previous Nunya games, I've noticed that Pappy likes to get behind a lot for his team, and sometimes it works out great if the rest of Nunya can just hold off and play this sort of 5v6 mid sort of defense while Pappy tries to get into position or figure out what he wants to do on his huge epic flanks. But it can be a bit of a bane though if you spend all that time getting behind, and then a good coordinated team could just push off it immediately, realizing that they're fighting up against just 5 players compared to their 6. So while they might get away with it on teams like 3 out of 6, or maybe even like what were the other teams that were just sitting at the lower end there, probably. Oh, they escaped.
Lemmings, maybe Arctic Foxes,
Lemmings, yeah,
but
maybe
Arctic
Lemmings.
Foxes is in the middle of the table, I suppose.
Yeah, so while they might get away with it with those teams, nerdRage should be able to punish these quite heavily. So it'll be interesting to see if Pappy actually adapts if they do catch wind of his sort of, I guess, tunneling gameplay. As we move on to our next little report, which is Namtak versus Ratslayer. Any stats jumping out at you, Frysk?
I think maybe one of the biggest stats, I suppose, considering Demoman, is the average deaths per map. I mean, maybe 4 isn't a huge difference, but I think considering how Namtak seems to have the edge on average kills per map, I mean, Ratslayer dying that much might be detrimental to his team's success.
It's very strange to see him that high up, I suppose, with those deaths, because I think he does get the majority of the heals from Condog most of the time, but this is just going off past play. Who knows, there might have been huge changes since I've last kept an eye on it. I can remember just the only thing from these Nunya games that if Ratslayer went down, usually Condog was very closely followed. So if Ratslayer can maybe lower his, I guess, mortality rate, it might kind of knock onto his medic as well. And if you keep your medic alive, you're going to feel the ramifications for your entire team, not just for that one player.
I think that's reflected in the stats. You can see heals received per minute. It's around 280 for Ratslayer, a little bit bigger than there from Namtak. So, I mean, that could as well hurt his team. You know, if the demo man is taking too many heals and he just keeps dying anyway along with his medic, you might have to change something up.
So we will be heading over to Gully Wash for our first map for Frysk. Now, I see the majority of players are actually collected onto the server now, so I'm going to start the ball rolling and ask for your prediction. Have you got any sore spots here? Oh, I can hear the countdown as well. Quick.
Well, quickly, I'm actually going to say 3-0 to nerdRage.
All right, and I'm going to say it's a bit of a slog, about a 2-1 to nerdRage as well. But if you're just joining us, this is ETF2L Season 26, powered by TT Esports. This is our first map, Gully Wash, and it's Nunya versus nerdRage. What's happening on mid for Frysk?
Well, at the moment, it looks like Korvac wanted to get in for some damage onto Condog, but he's fallen very weak. Umbrak as well is taking a lot of damage, and it looks like the rest of Nunya are just following up on this. But at the same time, a lot of Nunya are very weak. It could go either way, and it looks like Medico wanted to get in there and trying to pick up the frags, but it looks like nerdRage have come out on top of this, and it's just Ratslayer and Condog. Condog is so weak, so they won't be able to even stick around. They're going to have to get all the way to last. But it looks like Ratslayer might be able to pick up, or Ratslayer might be taken down. He was so weak, but will actually stay alive.
Oh, Blade was trying to go for the huge flank there, but Ratslayer sniffed him out and laid a denying sticky and cut off that option for Blade. So, bright side for Nunya, they do keep their medic alive, so it's very unlikely that nerdRage will be able to roll this in all the way to their last. It looks like they're even holding on to second. That's very well accredited to Nunya, but you actually see Umbrak there milking at his own Uber like a professional milkman. He is finally going to lay his scouts out for the kill, trying to find these loose ends, and they do find the corn dog kill, and now they just need to keep Umbrak alive. Very well postured from the team of nerdRage there, just flipping seamlessly from attack to defense.
Yeah, and as we were saying, Condog and Ratslayer pretty much died at the same time, and Pappy is behind. I don't think he'll be able to do anything. He seems to have tried to go for some sort of play, maybe onto second, but he's opted to go all the way back, and this could be an okay distraction play, buy some time for his team to build some sort of charge, and I mean, he's still alive, so nerdRage might just ignore him. He's all the way back at their own second, so I mean, Umbrak will be coming up on a Zuber charge. They might just want to take this in turbo.
I'm feeling pretty good about my analysis so far, Frysk. If I had to shape it in the form of a bingo card, I think I would be on my way to a bingo in the first minute or so. We already got Pappy behind, we've already got Ratslayer dying with his medic as well, and we've got Umbrak just showing off his medical prowess as well. Medico is the next one up on my bingo card list. Can Medico show a good game and just start pounding on some of these Nunya players? It's a fate to be seen, as he is behind right now. He's trying to cap off the point. He gets his first kill, but he's just a mere mortal. He's going to go down to the Hems heavy, but he will draw his eye away from Callback.
He's managed to actually force that Uber charge, yeah, and Umbrak, he's at 60% at the moment, so he will just bring this back out to River. I mean, that nearly worked. I think that was Medico who was actually behind for more, but Callback wants to go back in. And it just seems like it could work. There's so much time on the point. They just have to get these Nunya players off, but I think actually will... yeah, well, that actually just managed to work out for nerdRage. They had so much time on the point that they just had to literally stand on it for half a second, and our first round will go to nerdRage.
Yeah, Medico laid the foundations there, got so much cap time on the point that Nunya were forced to fight tied to the point, and it made it really difficult to chase out those kills that were retreating away. And once the Uber was finished from them, they could just follow up and try and recap in, just overwhelm them on the point.
Yeah, absolutely, but we are at this next mid fight, and I see that Callback is trying to get in here, but he's actually gotten taken down. But that's actually Blade picking up 2 kills onto Condog and Ratslayer. Those are 2 huge picks. Happy is behind, and he might be able to make something happen with Yellen, but they both get cleaned up, so that is a full wipe, and nerdRage very comfortably will be able to, at the very least, take the second point.
So, with Condog again going down, he will not have that safety net in the shape of an Uber charge, and Umbrak has his own. He's going in with a scout and a soldier, a very lethal combo for just getting these quick and damaging Ubers. Even Medico getting the forefront of that. Blade is already trying to get the ball rolling and to get some cap time, but he will manage to squeeze out an escape. He tries to double down and go back for the sneak cap, and the kind of lemming here for Frysk. It's kind of strange to see.
Yeah, it looked like it was going okay. They had that Uber charge all the way into last, and they had so much time to think of what they needed to do. But I think too many players committed to the point, and I think Nunya were just able to clean up the frag. So Yellen is going to jump into choke and force these nerdRage players out. So at the moment, it looks like Nunya will be able to take control of their second control point, and they will have a bit of an advantage here. So it looks like Ratslayer wants to go with this. Umbrak will be up on his Uber charge shortly. They're in mid right now, but Yellen taking a lot of damage. It looks like nerdRage are just going to fall back out.
Alright, keep note of the sticky trap on the midpoint. Every time I've seen it set up, it always gets a kill. So... oh wait, no, it looks like Scars has spotted that. I thought it was going, because every time I've seen someone place those stickies on that particular spot, it does find someone out. They've actually gone for the aggressive Uber onto Namtak. Look at Umbrak, he's just a man's man. He's not popping that Uber for nobody. He will finally pop it off at the tiniest health left on his Demoman or soldier. So they're trying to send in the remnants of this tail end of the Uber, but they're not quite finding the picks that they want to. They're getting some nice space in the shape of their soldiers jumping in, but they just can't seem to follow up with the rest of the players because they're just so disconnected right now.
Pappy just connecting a huge air shot onto Neo. That was incredible. It's Umbrak and Blade alive, so Blade is beneath the point. Umbrak is making his way out. So Blade actually picking up that 1v1 against Crafty Dave. But wow, Nunya were able to win that fight.
It's a shame when you've got these Uber soldiers that jump up to the high ground, but the disadvantage of pushing out from that big door area on Gully Wash is you're a bit disconnected as a scout. It's not very easy to get up there, at least into the faces of Nunya, when you're disconnected by this huge like high ground on the Gully Wash.
Yeah, absolutely. But for the time being, Nunya are poised in this lobby area, but Umbrak was able to stay alive after that fight, so we may see a Uber. Oh well, never mind. Crafty Dave coming out with the body shot onto Umbrak. Nunya, this is a really good opportunity. They can just surely just take this Uber charge in, and I mean, this is looking very good. They're going to take this Hound Scout leading this charge, and he's just going to play for this point.
Yeah, it wants to cap it off though, so he needs to take the Uber off him. He's got a huge amount of cap time onto them, but is it too late though? They've just got enough players left onto it. Crafty Dave, no! Nobody expects the sniper cap!
The sniper coming up behind from water. I don't believe my eyes, but that did just happen.
Crafty Dave, he started it and he finished it. Wow.
Incredible. So we are tied up here, folks. If you're just joining us, this is ETF2L Season 26, Week 6, Nunya versus nerdRage, and we're at our third mid-fight as we see two soldiers here from Nunya kind of below the point as Pappy has actually picked up core back here. But will get taken down here from Neo, and it looks like Medico wants to jump in and create some space for his team, but Yellen will reply with a jump across the point, but Blade hasn't been spotted, and he might actually be able to do something here, but he has actually been picked up here from Hems, and Crafty Dave is a bit caught out here. He's quite weak, but this is still doable here for Nunya. But they have a few weak players. Hems getting taken down, but Omrak has actually gotten picked up here from Ratslayer, and he might get picked up here now from Neo. But I mean, they do have the heals. Omrak did get picked up, so you may see Nunya actually win this.
Although it's maybe a little early to call soon now. I thought Crafty Dave was going to go on a bit of a rampage towards the tail end there. I saw a few weak players, and you never know with these scouts, man. They might just pop off 3 shots and get 3 kills. Hell, I've even seen 1 shot get 3 kills before, but we will see the mid go towards nerdRage for now. So it's staying consistent so far for nerdRage on these mids.
Yeah, absolutely. Though Nunya will have this Uber charge, and Umbrak coming up on 30%. I'm not sure if maybe he might have opted for Chris Creed, but I think he is still just running that medigun. So I mean, Nunya, do you think they will have to take this this opportunity? And the drop down push is coming in now. They have used the Uber charge, but nerdRage are going to be able to just back out here at choke, and it looks like there's no nerdRage players hiding or anything like that. They have just decided to leave, as they will be able to repush as Umbrak is coming up on about 80%. So we'll have to see how Nunya play this.
It does make you wonder though that if Umbrak was just building just a little bit quicker somehow, they might have be able to contest that mid, and there's nothing that makes someone sadder than trying to block their midpoint with an Uber charge while they're trying to cap it as well. Just all that work lost when they first Ubered in, but it looks like they didn't need those stinking Uber. They're just walking in for free for Frysk. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I suppose Nunya knew that they had the Uber charge, so I guess they did the same thing that nerdRage did. They just left through choke, but this time it's different, as we will see pretty much equal Ubers. I mean, Kondog has yet to get his, but he is coming up on 100% at the moment. But nerdRage in this big door area, they want to go in on this. Nunya holding on this balcony area, so it looks like Nunya want to contest for this, but Kondog's taking a lot of damage, and they've gotten the Uber charge out, but Umbrak has actually popped his in turn, so we are going to see a small Uber trade here in big door, but it looks like nerdRage are just going to recollect and try and get it back in here onto second. Medico taking a lot of damage, but Pappy getting picked up, so he might not have that spam to keep these nerdRage players out. Kondog and Rats there caught out here on this point. It's Blade who's just pressuring both of these players, and Medico's come back to try and help.
He did so well in the lobby. He was caught out by 2 players for just a moment there, but manages to pipe 1 and kind of juke the other scout for such a long time. And just as you thought he got away with it, a roller just kind of sweeps under his feet and picks him off.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but Medico there just picking up 2 kills, gonna certainly pave the way for his team to get into last. It looks like Blade just wants to play the point, and he has dragged Crafty Dave back, and he actually wins the 1v1, so he will just be able to cap the point.
That's some harsh reality coming back into the game there. I thought for a moment when Nunya got that round on the board and it was tied, I was like, it's it, Frysk, this is it, this is Nunya blossoming in front of our eyes, but no, it's back to 2-1. But hopefully it can stay at 2-1, because that was my prediction.
Indeed it was, Turbo, but we may see some changes here, as it looks like Nunya want to roll out on this right hand side, and I mean, it looks like nerdRage playing on this floor, but Ellen has taken a lot of damage, and Crafty Dave will actually catch a pipe. There's a few weak players here for Nunya, but looks like Namchak is very weak, and he will get picked up. So, I mean, this is looking so good for Nunya. They have so many picks, but it looks like Gorbak still wants to commit to this, and he actually has gone in, and he managed to pick up Condog. So that's a really good pick, as Umbrak is, I think, on the wrong side of the map.
No, he's on the right side.
Oh, he's on the right side of the map, of course, and he will actually not be able to get out there. I saw him just having a 1v1 with the soldier, but yeah, a bit of a messy fight, but it looks like Nunya has been able to pick that up.
Yeah, maybe Umbrak might have been lingering for the last couple of seconds there. I didn't catch the entire shindig though in that little Umbrak chase, but I did see some awesome play coming out from the Nunya soldiers. They just kind of went ham and lead and connect those rockets, and it just worked wonders for them on that middle fight, just outplaying nerdRage there.
Yeah, and I mean, we will see maybe another opportunity for Nunya. The Uber charges are equal, but maybe we could see some arrow building or something like that. But it looks like they will just build this Uber normally with the scout. So, I mean, Blade is on the sniper, but do you think Crafty Dave might want to go for another Machina play? Or are they just going to run this standard lineup?
I mean, if I was over on the nerdRage right now and I saw a sniper, I would keep my eyes firmly placed on that point just to make sure nothing like that happens again. So this time I'd like to see them mix it up a bit, even though it did work out for them heavenly on the Nunya side. You got to keep your opponents on their toes, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see Blade. He was playing sniper, and it looks like he's just checking for offcasses at the moment, but I mean,
Yeah.
running a sniper on Gullywash fast defense, I suppose you're hedging your bets on maybe picking up the medic, but he will just switch back to scout, so we're going to wait for Nunya to make the first move, I suppose.
Oh, the backcap play with the scout, Crafty Dave, he does it again, but not quite. He's just smidgen off of a cap point himself, but the majority of Nunya are out, and I don't think they've got any chance to capitalise off his work, but that's okay by Crafty Dave. I'm sure that was just a suicide attempt.
Yeah, I mean, it nearly worked. You got a lot of time, so I suppose if they only wanted to throw in another player, they could have maybe had a really poxy cap there, but it looks like Medico will actually get taken down as Nunya bring in this Uber charge, but Amrak will have a slightly better Uber, so it looks like Nunya kind of staying around this big door area. It looks like they want to bring it in now, but Ratslayer is taking a lot of damage, and all of these nerdRage players are actually behind this point, and that's really good coordination from the scout here I think that was Yellen and Hems, so we will see a bit of a scrappy after fight, but it looks like Nunya may have just about held this, but Korbak is peeking this big door, this shutter, and Nunya quite weak, might actually be able to hold on to this point.
It was very well played coming out from the Nunya soldiers there. They got on top of the point, and the unique thing about the second cap on Gullywash is that you can also cap it from the top as well as the bottom, so a bit of blockage was done by the Nunya soldiers, stopping that cap and allowing Nunya to kind of just collapse on top of them, keeping them pinned out as well, because they couldn't retreat back to that door because they were pushing from that big door area. But sadly, even though they killed so many players, Neo, the unsung hero, managed to buy enough time for his team to get respawned and repositioned to pick
Blade
off those
distracted
distracted
cut you
players.
off, but Blade, he's onto the medic, but he actually misses the stab, and he will get cleaned up. This might be the opportunity Nunya are looking for. They have that spy pick, but might not be enough for Nunya to go with this. However, that is, I suppose, very close for Blade picking up Condog there.
Yeah, you do see the disadvantage of running a sniper here, Frysk. Even though you get that pick that you probably would have got with the sniper anyway, you're usually looking for something bigger, because with the sniper you can't really push out as well. He's either hitting all those shots or he's just contributing nothing to his team. He's got no major presence or something to offer, unless you're going to just do that crazy backcap play at the start of the game, but I don't think that's going to happen again for quite a while now, at least.
Yeah, I think nerdRage probably are aware of that, so for the time being, Crafty Dave is running this Machina sniper again, and he's trying to find an angle, but I mean, he's used this before, dropping Umbrak, so I think it looks like Korbak is doing a pretty good job of keeping spam on River. so Crafty Dave might not be able to get an angle, but he has tried to walk in here. He actually has connected a shot onto Nantak, but he will get picked up. So, I mean, Nunya certainly won't be pushing now.
Yeah, but look at the position of Omrak though. He's got so many pillars, so many things in the way. There's no way that Crafty Dave can really find the sight line to pick him off. The only way he can do this is if he throws his life away for just that one shot, that one opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the only sniper I've seen do that recently, at least, is Thalash. But I mean, Crafty Dave.
Oh, Devilman down.
Yeah, that Ratslayer pick. It looks like nerdRage actually are going to take this opportunity to at least get into lobby. And maybe, I mean, do you think it's a smart choice to take an Uber charge out of lobby, or are they just going to wait for Nunya to bring the Uber in?
I think by the fact that they're a round up, I think they can afford to just play it a little bit safer. Because if they mess up here on this second point, it could cost them a round and bring the game to a tie again. But if they just stay at last, grind things out, they could even play off the match round timer reset if they really wanted to. And Gullywash is a very difficult map to push into on that last point, so it's better safe staying on this last point than pushing out, basically.
Yeah, but it looks like nerdRage have opted for this Blade Spy. He's in lobby right now. I'm not sure if he actually will just go for a pick. He's kind of positioned in a way that he could just leave if he wants to, but he...
Crafty Dave is in water again, but he's been caught. He's been read like a book by Callback, and an easy pick for him. Pappy's going for the bomb.
Yeah, Blade as well was trying to get onto the medic, but he uncloaked and he was spotted, so... Medico as well, he's pretty far forward. He actually might get picked up here, and he will, so... That's 2 picks for each team, and I suppose it's just pretty much back to the same situation.
What happens when an unstoppable force meets a Gullywash last? It seems nobody seems to find a way in. The majority of rounds that I've seen this season, Frysk, won on Gullywash is usually when there's a chaotic, crazy, scrappy fight outside, and one team has just dropped the ball so hard that they don't have time to set up a last defense. So. Maybe the best plan for Nunya is to kind of bait nerdRage into some of these pushes.
Yeah, perhaps, but I mean, they're running this Crafty Dave sniper again. I suppose they just want to wait and see what he'll be able to pick up, but I mean, it's going to be difficult for him, especially considering nerdRage will be aware, of course. We'll certainly be sure to keep some spam on these entrances, but we do see Blade running the sentry gun, so they actually will be setting up maybe a stronger defense. Sentry gun is a pretty good choice on Gullywash last. So for the meantime, it's going to be Crafty Dave who we're going to have to wait on to see will he be able to get any shots.
Yeah, it's all just a game of probability at this point. The longer Crafty Dave has a chance, the longer that the more time he gets, basically, is the more likely he will find that one shot, and that's all he needs. First, he just needs to land that one shot onto him.
Pappy, oh my god! And he actually coordinated that with the Girardi, and it actually worked. He was even getting shot by a sentry gun, but he picks up the kill. That's incredible.
Amazing! Wow! To be honest, I just saw that it was an engineer, and I dismissed like, well, they can't really send a roaming soldier in because he's just going to get minced by that sentry gun. But I completely discounted the fact that they could have just ran the Girardi. So I guess you see some of that reasoning, that whitelist meeting probably spinning in its grave round about now. 2-2, Frysk.
That was incredible. And Nunya are doing this. They've tied this up. I mean, wow, I don't think I've ever seen a more coordinated play, and especially using those unlocks to Girardi. That was incredible.
I mean, this is what people were prophesizing, they were scared about, but we didn't really see it come into fruition until, at least not in my eyes, until this very moment. So very well played by Nunya as they're entering this, what is it, the 5th mid now of the map. Very action-packed with a lot of wind under their sails, but they're surrounded so far. The scouts are trying to collapse onto them, but they're doing the... Oh no!
Blade, though, picks up 2 kills. He gets Hemps and Condog. That's not good as Crafty Dave and Ratslayer going down after that, so looks like nerdRage at the end of that were able to take that mid-fight, and of course Amik did stay alive, so this is another good opportunity for nerdRage.
It's very difficult to hold your ground once you're surrounded like that. Usually the best method to just break out of that is just to pick a side and just puncture it. See if you can do the job of attacking someone in a bum rush as well as running away from those people that are flanking behind you. But I guess they just weren't aware from the flank from Blade, so very well played from the French scout there.
Yeah, absolutely, but right now though, it looks like nerdRage, I mean, they have this full Uber, so they are going to take this in on this shoulder, but Crafty Dave has opted for that Pyro, and they haven't taken him down yet. He finally will get picked up, so you have to deal with this heavy next, and there's actually a lot of damage here from Namtak, so that's really good, and they've pushed Kondog into spawn. Ratslayer playing all the way behind the point here, and Pappy has actually managed to make his way into River, but it looks like Kondog trying to do something as well, but he will get picked up, so a pretty convincing last push there for nerdRage.
Maybe diverting way too many resources to hogging the Uber there. They had a Pyro that went down, as well as a Heavy. I don't think that Heavy should have gone down. He could have maybe gone back to his respawn queue, you know, switch off into a different class, something that he's more comfortable with, getting frags on. But he just kind of gave his life up, really, threw himself in there, and that was 2 easy picks. That was a nice Uber, really, for the nerdRage, not really doing what they wanted to do.
Yeah, it was good use of the advantage, and Pappy wants to try and get something happening on the right-hand side, but he actually will just get flanked by Medico and Korvac, so Nunya won't have that solar to open up the space for them, and I think they are just feeling that, so they will just try to get out here from choke.
It seems everybody over on Nunya got out there, apart from Hems. Hems did not get the memo from the rest of his teams, like, team, where have you gone? And he's just been laid pissing in the wind, so they will have to give up the second point, surely. They're in a very peculiar spot, and they're just going to get spammed out. Wow. What is this positioning from Nunya?
Yeah, they were a little bit hesitant, but they kind of got surrounded. I mean, I think the combo of nerdRage were in big door, and the flank door was just coming in through choke, and I mean, they were a little bit hesitant on what they wanted to do. It looked like they wanted to go back to lobby, but they just stayed in, and I think Kondog just ate so much spam, he just got picked up, so I mean, nerdRage probably going to have a pretty easy last push here. They do have some spawners coming in from Nunya, but they do have the supercharge, and they have just got so much time on the point, so that will make it 4-2.
Man, nerdRage crushing dreams there, just kind of dangling the the carrot in front of them. Just when they think they have it, they 1 step forward and 2 steps back from Nunya. It just seems so puzzling for me, Frysk. And maybe they were just waiting on the Uber from Kondog and hoping that they could turn around the situation with their backs to the wall, but it just didn't come in time.
Yeah, absolutely, but here we are at our 7th mid, and Yellen and Pappy going down pretty much immediately. Yellen tried to go for some sort of aggressive positioning on the right-hand side of the point, but he was just completely denied, and Nunya not making a mistake this time. They haven't got all the way back to their lobby, so Kondog will be able to build a supercharge.
Just kind of make you wonder, Frysk, if sure it's 4-2 on the game right now, but maybe in the Nunya hearts it might as well be 5-0. They probably already counted themselves out. It looks like the spirit has died out a little bit, especially when you've got that 2-0 gap between the rounds. It really demotivates you, and on a map like Gullywash, if top5rocket, excuse me, nerdRage really wanted to, they could just dig their heels in and slow down this game to a crawl if they must.
I don't think nerdRage are the type of team that do play like that. As we see Blade playing for the point, but isn't successful, as he will be cleaned up. So, I mean, and yeah, again, can't really do anything there with that pick. They're just going to have to hold us.
So 5 minutes left on the clock. I mean, it's possible, and Gullywash is one of those maps that you can kind of get a nice quick round on. So maybe they could just hammer this out, but if nerdRage are really smart here, they've got them in like the choke position, really pushing them all the way back to their last, and pushing out from last is always a difficult thing in TF2, so they could just play very carefully and take their time almost on these things. They do take out Pappy. Callbacks even managed to get on top of this last point practically. They have to turn a lot of eyes over on Nunya, a bit paranoid. They're coordinating with a couple of classes on there, and look at all those players that are distracted onto the point there. It gives an easy in for Medico, but he's got to deal with Crafty Dave on the heavy weapons guy, and he's not going to let anybody on top of Kondog right now.
Yeah, but looks like Korvac actually was able to pick up Pappy as he was jumping back out to River. But I mean, of course, Medico isn't alive right now for nerdRage. Again, we have pretty much just an equal situation for both teams. I mean, Crafty Dave is up on this heavy, but maybe, I suppose, Nunya might look to build a sentry gun, but I mean, sure, well, that didn't seem to work last time, as Pappy was able to pick up that hilarious kill, almost unbelievable kill onto the medic, but I mean, they will just run this Crafty Dave sniper.
That's a good point. If I was nerdRage, I would probably get some Jurati play in myself, you know, give them a taste of their own medicine. But it doesn't look like they want to do that. They just want to keep it cookie cutter for now. Just keep it very controlled, very relaxed over on nerdRage, because you're winning right now, and every second that ticks by is a second that you're happy with.
Yeah, absolutely. There's about 4 minutes left, and I know nerdRage aren't really the type of team that will do that, but I mean, there has been a pick here, so it looks like this Medico wants to get in onto
Oh, he does get the force.
Yeah,
Nice.
Klondike, he will get the force actually, but
Look at all these picks though.
Yeah,
that's like might as well call it just a good Uber there. Look, see a scout even force off Umbrak in that big door area there, and his hand was forced. He was brought down to about 30 HP, and oh my god, now they're even counter feeding as well. Everyone's just meals on wheels in this game, just deciding to just deliver the food to them. Neo's trying to even get the pick onto the Yellen, and he will even find it as well. He's even gonna overwhelm Crafty Dave on that last point. What's going on, Frysk?
Yeah, they just have so many picks there, and I mean, they were just able to bring that to last pretty easy. Last push for nerdRage, and I mean, they're widening the gap here. It's 5-2 and 3 minutes left. I'm not sure if it can be done, Turbo, but we will be going to our 8th mid as I see Namtak running out to this choke area. Both Sodas and Nunya looking like they want to do something from the floor, but looks like Yellen will return to his combo, and Pappy is actually looking at this drop-down area. He is behind onto Umbrak. He might be able to pick up this kill, and he actually has picked up a Namtak as well. That's 2 really big picks, but meanwhile, there's a lot of weak players actually here for Nunya, and I mean, it looks like Blade and Neo, along with the spam of Medico, have just been able to clean up these Frysk, Turbo. I can't believe that just happened, but they just seem to, I don't know, they just were able to kill everybody in about the span of about 5 seconds.
All those hours in my gaming edge, Frysk, have paid off dividends for nerdRage there, but it wasn't all just about DM. There was a bit of smart play under the veil of DM, as you did see Omrak going down very early, so you saw the right decision making coming out from nerdRage there, realizing that they need to take out Condog if they want to make sure this middle isn't initially slowed down and they play off the heals, as well as they just don't roll the rest of the round with an Uber charge. So they take him out, and from there, that's when the DM fest started. So a good bit of combination of sprains and brawn there from nerdRage.
Yeah, for sure. nerdRage surely going to be feeling very comfortable. There's 1 minute and 30 left. I don't think Nunya will be able to get back into this. So I suppose nerdRage might just count down the clock and bring in one last Uber push to try and take a 6th round for themselves. But Crafty Dave is up on that sentry gun, so we'll have to see if that'll be able to fend off nerdRage. But I mean, nerdRage taking their time. Condog really has. I'm not sure if he is running his Uber charge, so might see an Uber trade before anything happens here.
Yeah, 1 minute remaining until next map will be deployed, but right now we are well into trash time. They're just kind of just playing about here, playing with their food almost over on nerdRage, and I don't think they even have the option to invoke the mercy rule here, even if they wanted to. But they're not going to give it lying down over on Nunya. They're still playing with their little hearts out, and I know some people have told me, some casters have said that this sort of play does kind of revolve into the next map as well, you know, go out on a somewhat high, play serious, keep your head in the game. But you can't help but think that all this trash time is kind of getting into the heads of Nunya. You're busy not concentrating on the game, but just thinking like, oh man, what went wrong there?
I mean, they could be thinking that, but I mean, maybe we might be able to see some Nunya interviews, I'm not sure, but I mean, they might see 5-2 as a decent result. I mean, top5rocket sitting at 3rd in the table, so, you know, that might be a good outcome, maybe, for this map.
I mean, for a moment there, Frysk, it was close.
It was indeed
close.
Yeah, I think it was tied at 2 rounds each. That was after the was that the sniper back cap? I'm not entirely sure, but we did see some. I think it's Nunya that had some pretty entertaining plays pushing into top5rocket's last.
Yeah, they just seem to come out with these random, I guess, plays. I mean, I think Nunya were. I'm not sure if they're the only team. No, they won't be the only team actually this far into the season. But they were the first team to actually scratch a round off of 7 during all these first few weeks. So there's some Prem in there. There's some Prem deep in their hearts, and it's itching to get out. But I guess all these big boys have just been around for a little bit longer, and the experience shows for us.
Yeah, absolutely. But what do we know, Turbo? We should let the logs speak for us, because of course logs mean everything.
Yes, I'm going to base my entire opinions on all these players based on their mathematical output.
So what I'm seeing is that Pappy is the greatest soldier of all time, getting 9k damage in this map.
Yes, I'll start praising him right now in the forums. I'll make a thread just for him. He's the greatest player of our time, Pappy. How dare I second guess his roam at any stage of this competition? He's another who's a high ranking roamer that Jukebox. He's the next Jukebox. Why not?
Indeed. But I have just taken a look at nerdRage's scouts. Neo and Blade picking up 33 kills and 24 kills respectively. That's pretty good here from... I mean, I think at least I think I can, if I can recall one single play, it was at mid. I think Neo and Blade picked up about 6 kills in total. I think they might have been about 5 kills. They were able to just completely take out the entire team. I think they were playing pretty well that game. But I think on the side of Nunya, certainly would be Pappy doing a lot of work for his team. But also Crafty Dave, I mean, he didn't have the best kill deaths ratio or damage or anything like that. But he did make at least a couple of plays that did actually allow Nunya to take, I think, 2 rounds. I think it might have been Crafty Dave that might have been the key to those rounds.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think if you get the cap as a sniper on that last point, you probably should get, I don't know, like a triple cap score or something like that. Just some sort of multiplier thrown in. Why not, Zoob? Make it happen. But it goes to show that logs aren't the greatest thing to base things on. No, we can't call Pappy the next Jukebox just because he got 9k damage, even though he lost. Because again, it just goes back to, you could do all this great damage, you could get some nice picks and kills, but you're not going to win these rounds. And nerdRage, they just seem the much coordinated team, the stronger team as well, the team that's outplaying them ever so slightly. And Nunya just seems like the more gimmicky team, really, the one that just kind of has some random dumb piece of luck, but you've got to be skilled enough as well to kind of put that luck into motion, I suppose, is a good way of saying it.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to make those sort of like random plays happen all the time, because what makes them so special is because they're so rare for us.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, both our predictions, Turbo, completely wrong. Again, what do we know about TF2?
Yeah. Don't bring me back to that moment. That's a dark time for me. But I expected a bit of a slug, but I guess Gollywash can go either way if it's just down to the teams that are playing. And who am I to question top5rocket? The top5rocket nerdRage. They are going balls to the wall, it seems. They don't want to wait for no man. And yeah, I know there's some other stats out there, Mr. Production Guy. Don't you think that you can stay on this one page here? I want to see the whole kit and caboodle. Come on now. It never works, he says. Lies, Amik, lies. It must be all your fault.
Well, I think certainly it was an interesting game when, certainly, at least especially when Nunya were able to tie it up, but then nerdRage just kind of ran away with it. But certainly an entertaining map.
I mean, it's to say that a lot of people probably looked at this game, 7th place versus 3rd place. I know what's going to go on in my mind. Maybe I shouldn't even tune in, but it goes to show that these tables, even when people check out the mines, they can always still turn out some entertaining TF2. And it was a bit of a nail biter in places, so looks can be deceiving, that's all.
Yeah, for sure. For a brief moment there, I was a bit of a Nunya fanboy in the time, but I mean, yeah, I'm excited to see some more play similar to this kind of Girardi gimmick coming out on Granary. But I mean, Granary Last is quite different to Gollywash. It's a bit more open, a bit bigger as well. So I mean, we'll have to see how Nunya will be able to fare in these last pushes.
Frysk, I've got to ask you. I mean, we're all TF2 players here. witnessing that Girardi play, does that make you change your mind, or
Absolutely not. That was one of the most entertaining plays I've ever seen.
So you're all for the Girardi. You're like, bring that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring on the P.
I suppose. You could argue about coordination with your sniper, but I suppose the Girardi has a big enough radius to be able to throw at a player and to just have a soldier jump in. I can certainly see why people would be against it, but I think it does add to the game. It spices it up, gives teams more options. But more importantly for me, it's entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I played TF2, so every time I see these random spectacles of just randomosity and just weirdness get thrown in, I'm all for it, it seems right now. But if I take a trip down memory lane, I think I'm not the biggest proprietor of these unlocks, but we've got to, it's a different age for us. We've got to move on them in our lives, as we are going to be heading into our second map, Granary. Now, do you think I could squeeze a quick prediction from you before we go live here?
I'm gonna go for 3-2 to nerdRage. I think it will be close.
If there's any measure from that last Gully Wash game, it's got to be a high round game. So I'm gonna go with 5-4 to. I'm gonna go for the upset, man. Put it on all on Nunya.
Well, we'll have to see, as it looks like Namtak is a little bit faster than Raslayer here to mid, but we'll be exchanging some stickies across this point, but the rest of their team will be rolling out to this ramp room area, and it looks like Pappy wants to go for an aggressive bomb onto Ombrak, and he will pick up that kill, and he will bring Namtak quite weak, and actually it looks like Ellen was actually able to clean up the frag, so at the moment it is just Neo in here, but on the back lines actually Condog was able to, or wasn't able to stay alive against both the soldiers of nerdRage, and I mean, that's incredible. They somehow were able to pick up about 4 frags at the tail end of that.
And what's weird is they took the fight all the way to the second point of Nunya. They're desperately trying to back out, keeping Condog away from all the aggression after they got that Ombrak kill. And it was very well played from Nunya. They were just like rabid dogs, just trying to hunt down poor Condog, and he was met by callback in the end.
I mean, in the end, was it worth it? Condog has pretty much the same Uber charge now as or I say Uber charge, but he might actually be running a Kritzkrieg because that was pretty fast at being built. But no, it looks like he is just running his minigun. So
you got to cut your losses, Frysk. I mean, I think that was literally the best option of losing I've ever seen, really. Where if you're gonna lose, you might as well lose the mid from the red team's second point with 1 player left.
Yeah, perhaps, but right now though, it looks like these teams already are facing a small stalemate. Both the medics have their Uber charge, so we'll have to wait and see which team wants to make the first move.
Oh no, I predicted a high round game. I expected these teams to just roll each other on these middles, but who knows. I'm going to turn my attentions to Pappy, just like Nunya will turn their attentions to him, hoping that he can be the equalizer, the one that will kind of level out this. Well, I shouldn't call it an equalizer. We need some sort of, flip the table here is probably a better way of saying it. Just get Pappy in there, start causing some chaos, maybe get the lucky drop onto Ombrak, the skillful drop, any sort of drop.
The Girardi drop, perhaps.
The Girardi drop is what we'll call it. That's code word.
And as you said, Pappy wanted to get in, but he got pretty denied actually from the scouts. So Crafty Dave as well getting picked up. So no.
That's the happiness level drop.
yeah, for sure. As nerdRage have to make their way into this mid, spam out Nunya, and they're just gonna have to back it up all the way to their yard.
Right, taking turns it seems. It's now their turn to defend from the yard area. Nunya, they've got to deal with Neo though, and he is doing a good impression of Neo, dodging all these shots, but he's only human after all. He will. Oh wait, what? There's a medic? Was there a pop?
Yes, there was actually, as Quarterback managed to jump in after all of that and force the Uber out of Condog.
Oh no, I've seen this scenario before where people are positioned in this place and they've got an Uber charge against the other team. They can just used to pretty much come out of these doors like a gunshot here, Frysk, and get on top of the medic here. And I don't think this is a well position from Nunya here, dealing with a full Uber charge. We're going to see them come out really quickly from this door area.
Yeah, it looks like Kondog,
okay, that's not very quick.
Kondog was able to bring the rest of his team back. So for the time being, nerdRage are able to take control of this yard, and they still have their Uber, but Kondog will be coming up to about 75%, but the Uber has been forced has been used here. And looks like they haven't been able to pick up anybody actually with that. They will be able to take second, but looks like Kondog wants to repush.
Alright, so they're trying to just edge off the point here instead of... oh, actually no, they used the Uber and I was a little bit distracted for a moment. But they're trying to make the push out instead over on Nunya, see if they can edge out the point themselves. But they didn't counter for the callback, I guess, drop in from the roof area. The Roma Classic on this granary map doesn't even have to expend a rocket to make his little surprise attack. Even taunts at the end there to really rub in and show that his job has been done. So things are going to reset. Umbrak is going to get his Ubercharge, and this time he's going to maybe get away with it on using it on this last point rather than second.
Yeah, it was a good play from Korbach to pick up that force on the Uber, but it looks like Medico wants to get in through the lunchbox, but both these soldiers of Nunya are able to span them out for the time being. It looks like Nia wants to kind of play the point a little bit, but Medico and Umbrak have managed to get in here onto second, and they're actually pretty much looking at last at the moment. Like, it looks like Medico has already jumped in and he just gets destroyed here by Yellen. But the rest of nerdRage, again, they're just it's a bit of a weird push. I mean, Namtak and Korbach are all still at second, so I'm not exactly sure what they were trying to accomplish with that.
I think they just wanted to use their Uber a lot more greedily there, but I think there was a very opportune time to actually use the Uber because I was busy watching the rest of the Nunya team not really in a healthy state, as they had to have a majority of the players actually sent back. Umbrak will finally pop off his Uber now, but he is the first one to fire, so... Oh wow, Neo! There's so much multi-ing coming out from Nunya there that the Umbrak Uber will actually work out in the end compared to Kondog, so very well played from Neo, just being a scary force there, just making Kondog feel he had to pop the Uber onto everybody.
Yeah, and Neo picking up Happy as well, but I mean, I think Hems was like... he didn't have any Uber charge on him for about half a second, and Neo just completely meat shot him. But it looks like I think his Korbach, he wants to get onto the medic, and wow, that was a really good rocket from Korbach picking up Kondog. So this is a really good play here from Korbach to set his team up for a nice Uber advantage.
That was face melting. Truly wondrous. It goes to show why he's on that 4th place, 5th place spot on that soldier leaderboard. Stream stats do matter, it seems. So, what is the plan for Kondog and his buddies? He looks like he's going Vaccinator, but he hasn't got any bubbles.
It might be too late. Yeah, he has gone down, and this Ubercharge has been pretty successful. Looks like there's so many weak players on Nunya, and they will surely be able to clean this up. Hem's getting that pick onto Amrak, but looks like it doesn't matter as nerdRage are able to play this point.
Yeah, and you do see Umbrak going down there, but that's fine. He Ubered in all his teammates, and they've all practically got buffs in anyway. He's done his job. He doesn't mind going down. If anything, he's just a nice little sponge wasting all that scatter shot that could have been shot at his teammates. So very well played to nerdRage there for playing off quickly on their Uber charge advantage and getting the Kondog pick quickly.
Yeah, we'll see the first round go to nerdRage. But here we are in our second mid, as that's Yellen going in for a pretty high bomb here onto Umbrak, and he actually gets a lot of damage, and that's really good here. Kondog staying alive, but he has fallen very weak. It's Neo on Blade, they have to deal with these scouts. Neo getting picked up now, Blade trying to get in for this kill onto Kondog, but he won't be able to make anything happen. And wow, Turbo, an incredible mid here for Nunya.
What a blob coming out of Nunya there. When they got that pick onto Umbrak there, everybody just kind of, almost like a Leonidas sort of assembly of 300 men just all clumped up next to each other, and they would not let anybody past. Very well played for keeping Kondog alive during that, and it was, I bet they were kind of wishing they had some soldier classes there, some splash damage to kind of punish that blob, but they only had those poor little scouts, and what are you supposed to do when you're met up against all those buff players just surrounding Kondog there?
I mean, maybe there's nothing you can do, but It looks like Nunya are going to want to take the supercharge. Umbrak is up on 80% now. They're going to have to bring this in. They do have a sentry gun behind. I don't think that they've spotted it yet. We'll have to see if Nunya will be able to spot that out. They have taken out the sentry gun. They're going to have to focus down this heavy, but it looks like Umbrak opting for that vaccinator again. But there's so much time on the point here from Crafty Dave. But I think this vaccinator seems to be working out pretty well. So,
well, that was a very, very early pop from Corndog there. I don't know what the danger was. It was, I guess, when you played so much TF2 Frysk, you've just got this Pavlovian sort of trigger wave, like, we're entering the danger zone, quick, pop the Uber! And you're not even accounting for the fact that there was no sniper, there was no immediate spam being laid upon them. They just popped in because they felt like it. And from there, they had to deal with a sentry gun, which they did finish, but they also had a heavy with a load of vaccinator bubbles as well. I mean, Blade even had a picnic on that last point, and he wasn't needed. That was goes to show how bad that push was.
Korvac is behind. He's gotten this drop down, which I don't think you see too often. He might be able to pick this kill up here onto Kondog, but Kondog will be able to use that Uber charge in time, and it looks like they might want to just try and see if they can bring this at all into...
99. Oh, Umbrak's got his Uber now, and he will pop his own Uber. I guess he just wants to get his players aggressive, but again, it just goes back to, does he really need to pop the Uber there? He probably could have got away with not popping it.
Yellen, though, getting a nice pick onto Umbrak, and he picks up Neo as well. He's just dropped
oh my
down.
god, all on
this
last.
might work. They have 2 times on the point, and they're actually... Wow, that's such good play from
that
the
was
soldiers
like
of Nunya.
what was it, like a 4-man back cap?
I think it was just the soldiers, but I'm not sure. Wow.
I mean, they were pushing in on nerdRage, so I was already expecting them to be out, and I shoved my camera into yard. I'm like, there's nobody here. Where are they? They're on last. They've just... Nobody expects, I guess, the mass back cap.
Yeah, Yellen was able to pick up the medic and pick up another soldier, so it really opened it up for the back cap. But here we are, our third mid, and it looks like Nunya have taken some positioning on the ramparts, but the soldier wants to get in here onto Umbrak, but Umbrak has some good movement here on these crates, and Kondog as well was so weak, and he will die to a spam rocket from the soldiers of nerdRage, so this isn't looking very good here for Nunya, as they don't have these heals, but Blade will actually get picked up. Happy has this high ground, Neo falling very weak, and it looks like Hems and Crafty Dave, they might be able to do this, but Crafty Dave is literally 1 health, so they've somehow managed to get nerdRage out of here, and they actually are going to pick up mid.
Oh my god, the health advantage was all the way nerdRage, even as they were backing out at the fight there, and it's unbelievable really that Nunya managed to clutch that. I guess it just goes to show that having the right classes up can win these last mid fights. I think if they just went kind of balls to the wall aggressive like they did in that tail end of that last mid fight, that they can win out against even the heals advantage there. But because Umbrak stayed alive during all that, he just went back, brought back all his friends that have respawned, put a buff on them, and allowed them to walk into mid. So that's just an easy mid reclaimed by nerdRage there.
Yeah, and it looks like Nunya won't be able to keep nerdRage from getting into yard, and they are going to take this into lunchbox, and this could be a good Uber trade here for nerdRage. Kondog holding beneath this, so they're gonna get this Uber here out of Umbrak, and they will maybe actually have a better Uber charge here, so we'll have to see if Nunya will be able to get the better of this fight, but no frags have actually happened. It was a bit of a strange Uber trade. This is going to kind of reset here.
Yeah, majority of it was Umbrak caught in the doorway. He couldn't really reach his Medico buddy, and Medico, because of that, he didn't delve quite as deep as he wanted to. He will go down, I guess, during all these skirmishes, I should say, and he will be back pretty soon. But this is a big map, Frysk, so dying is... Oh, there's actually Pappy behind, of course. Check the bingo card.
Yeah, Pappy, I mean, maybe he was hoping to bring some players behind. I'm not sure exactly what he's hoping for, as he will just get picked up,
well,
so...
He brought some players behind. He's drawn 2 eyes, but Nunya don't look like they want to play off it at all, and... I mean, it's 1-1 right now, so everyone's on edge just a little bit. They don't want to make these huge risks.
Yeah, for sure. nerdRage, though, they had some good positioning on Lunchbox. Blade getting picked up. But Umbrak and the rest of his team, it looked like they want to actually take that Uber in, but they might have decided better with that Blade pick.
They should know that Nantak is alone here. If they are aware of Umbrak kind of going around that they could have bum rushed Namtak, got the Demo Man pick, and that's a huge pick for them when it comes to holding the line. But they just didn't figure it out, I suppose.
Yeah, again, we're just going to see both these teams get the supercharge again. I think nerdRage, it looked like in the past they just wanted to bring an Ubercharge through Lunchbox, but it didn't seem to work, so we'll have to see what they'll change up, or if they're just going to try for it again.
So put your spirit in the hands of nerdRage right now. What would you be doing, Frysk? What sort of crazy plays would you be trying to make happen on the side of nerdRage to stop this stalemate?
I'm not entirely sure, but it looks like nerdRage have opted to just bring the supercharger in, and they finally get this Uber forced here out of Condog. So, I mean, it wasn't the best Uber, as they had to bring it all the way in to find Condog. So they might. Nunya though don't have the best positioning, and Condog actually took a lot of spam along with Ratslayer, so they will be able to force Nunya back out. I mean, it looks like nerdRage just had better positioning after that Uber, so.
Yeah, because they took that Uber in top there, Medico was able to delay some damage on the flank players, and instead of going back to their medic, they went all the way back to respawn to actually get their health. And I think nerdRage must have done a quick head count. It's like, wait a minute. When Medico was caught behind, he counted 2 people that were coming out to respawn. He must have only had 4 players defending that second point, so the 5 players are going to do a good job of just pushing them out there and getting that second point for free.
Yeah, as we did see Korvac trying to get in there, getting a pick onto Condog. The Ubers are equal, so expected maybe from Korvac, so it looked like Nunya were able to clean up that frag pretty easily. But for the time being, Crafty Dave bring the sentry gun. But it will be nerdRage, I suppose. We'll have to see how they're going to break down this defense.
I mean, it is in a very crafty spot, not a spot you see every day for a sentry gun. Usually they don't really like to throw out these hidden sentry guns spots too much, because in competitive, it's everyone's a bit attuned, not only in the eyes but the ears as well. For this, so they're going to hear the sentry gun. They're going to think that it's not in its usual spot, so it's probably around this corner here. So having these close, sneaky spots just makes it easier for the other team to kind of just spam it out or just get it down quickly.
Yeah, for sure. As the Blade Sniper, they want to make some space for him, but the soldiers of Nunya positioned well enough to spam out this top entrance, so he's going to have to rotate somewhere maybe and try again.
Yeah, he's not quite finding the heads that he wants to, and it's well played by Pappy to hold close to these doors, to not give him the sightline that he wants.
Yeah, absolutely, and I guess this is what nerdRage have chosen as a gimmick in this last push, but it hasn't worked out, as he will get picked up from Pappy. And I mean, do you think maybe this with the game tied up 13 minutes, maybe nerdRage shouldn't be wasting time? They should try something, maybe send in a Korvac bomb. Of course they do have that sentry gun. I'm not sure if they've heard that. They probably should have, but they could go for a sneaky spy play. But of course Condog, it's a hard pick for a spy to get onto Condog where he's positioned at the moment.
I think if we flick to our Cadus manuals, page 32 on pushing a last point, if Cadus law number 1, once you get this position on a enemy team, you should never give up this role. You should always keep it very, very safe. You shouldn't risk things, because this is such a powerful place that you get the enemy team into. So from here, I expect nerdRage to kind of keep them in a very passive place where they're not really risking anything. They're going for these sort of classes like Sniper and like Spy, where if things screw up, then they're not risking anything, basically.
Yeah, absolutely, but Blade peeking in again, trying to find this shot. But, I mean, I'm not sure how effective the Sniper is working out for nerdRage, but they seem to want to make this work. Blade, though, will have to find the shot eventually, or else, I mean, Nunya could, I mean, I suppose Granary maybe, it's not, would not be easy really for Nunya to be able to exploit the fact that they do have a sniper, but it looks like
there's a sideline for a moment there.
Indeed, but he did get taken down.
Wow, this did Spencer working out for Condog there. He literally had body armor. He just stood inside of the machine, and all the rockets couldn't touch him. It just battle armor.
Yeah, absolutely. Korvac though, running this spy. I'm not sure if he is checking for off costs, but I think he will.
He's got to be going out of that respawn. There's no way. Yeah, he is.
Indeed, we have his quarterback spy on the field. So, I mean, they did spot the sentry gun. They saw where Condog was holding. What do you think of this Turbo? It's gonna have to. It's gonna be hard here for a quarterback to maybe get a pick onto this medic.
Extremely difficult. I don't even know how. I can't even picture how we would even pull this off. Is that a teleporter that they're playing about with? Yeah, Condog even making the bonus points for Crafty Dave.
Absolutely. But like, I suppose maybe he could.
Right, I've got it, Frysk. Here's the play. Okay, now clearly Condog is a boisterous player that likes to take that teleporter. You wait by the teleporter exit as a spy, and then you stab him because it's behind a fence.
That actually could work, and I would actually love to see Cormac try that.
You know what would be great as well? If you coordinate with a soldier, I bet Corndog would be such a sly player that he would try and teleport during a bomb in. So if you have someone like try and put him in danger, oh, they actually go for the Demo Man pick instead. Well, oh man, that is not the gimmick play I was laying out here.
Yeah, I wanted to see the teleporter play, but it will teleport. So we will see nerdRage taking the supercharge in on the right, but they haven't really been able to make any ground. But I mean, Korvac is still on spy, so I suppose maybe he might be able to do something more, as the rest of nerdRage are just in behind him here on this left side, and they want to commit to this, but they haven't got any time on the point, and it looks like these soldiers on Nunya are able to do enough damage here to Namtak.
Oh my god, they haven't forgotten about this spy, have they? They must have. He's trying to hit him, but he's just so fast!
Will he be able to find it? No, he gets picked up. That's unfortunate. You do see Medico hiding above here. He might. He's just giving them the slip. He surely won't be able to do this, and he will get picked up. He's only a soldier. He won't be able to get enough time on the point. So Nunya will be able to pick up the second.
Well, philosophers have pondered for ages for Frysk to be like, how can we really put use to this engineer? How can he switch off in time? It's using teleporter technology. He just went back to the respawn and went back as sniper and kind of laying some damage as well. So he was kind of playing up two off classes practically at the same time for his team there. Very well played to Crafty Dave, as nerdRage are fighting back on this middle point, not giving it away for free, and they have got an overcharge to still threaten them with, because Corndog is forced to use his, and they've also got the respawns on the side as well, so it's looking very, very bad for Nunya here. They're going to have to pull off quite a miraculous hold if they want to get this, but no, it will go towards nerdRage in the end. Nunya are sent packing. They've got to get another overcharge ready, and somehow they're still behind on overcharge even though they were the first to use theirs. Okay.
I mean, I don't think he was building. I don't think Condog was building for just a few seconds, but yeah, more or less equal, and they will have these spawners. But I mean, nerdRage, I don't think the advantage is big enough for them to go on this. But I mean, here we are again, Turbo, on this last point that nerdRage just weren't able to crack the defense.
Where is our little engineer, Crafty Dave? Please. Oh, he's gone heavy. That's a poor man's sentry.
Yeah, perhaps. But looks like nerdRage are peeking in on this left-hand side. I think that's Neo who's in quite deep. He could get picked off here. And yeah, he will get picked off from a rocket from Yellen. However, they will trade that with,
oh my god, they're slow pushing it very well. Yellen's brought down very low. It's a good thing Ratslayer has gone a bit aggressive to kind of deal with all these people that could push themselves in if they want to, but they're really bullying. It was very well played from nerdRage, kind of just showing that they can just push them out. But if I was over on the side of Nunya, I'd get a sniper up, because that kind of punishes those sort of slow plays and dipping out and just exposing yourself like that.
Yeah, and as you say, like, Crafty Dave has swapped off of Heavy. He's running the sniper now. If nerdRage do try to slow push this again, we might see some Crafty Dave plays. But I mean, for the time being, they're just gonna reset this.
We got one shot there, but I think they had a buff, so it didn't work out in the end. He's poking about, seeing if it's just ready for anybody to jump in, really. But it's just a tough nut for crack. I don't think nerdRage really have a plan for dealing with these last pushers. And if Blade isn't hitting his shots, then it's just not working out for them. Oh,
yeah, Korvac going in as well, but you see, it just doesn't work. I think Blade needs to take a page out of Crafty Dave's book and run this Girardi. and maybe get something going with Korvac. But I mean, they did try Korvac in at the same time as Blade was trying to find an angle, but that is 2 picks, so Kondog might want to bring this in. Yilin getting picked up though, so you might see nerdRage trying to go for this. Medico's super deep here onto this medic, but will get picked up. Sentry gun going down as well. nerdRage looking like they want to commit to this, and the Uber finally will be used here from both teams, and it's just a matter of who will have this better post Uber, and it seems that Nunya will be able to pick up those frags and might be able to run this into second.
I'm just having a little chuckle to myself, Frysk, because there was a few people that wanted to clearly go for the point there on nerdRage, and some people have just they've just gone. They're out of there. They're all the way back at second. So with that miscommunication over on nerdRage there on what they want to do, Nunya will reap the rewards. They get their second point, but it just extends the time again, and now they can't even rely on the round reset timer anymore to go back to a mid. But hey, it's working out for them now. They've got the mid fight. I thought they would put up a bit of a bigger fight from nerdRage for that mid point, like they did last time. But they do send a call back in, going for a Hail Mary. But
nearly, but I'm not sure if he had all of his rockets loaded. He did have to make 2 rocket jumps, so he was only able to get 1 rocket off, and he wasn't able to connect any damage onto Kondog. So we will see. Nunya maybe want to make their way into this yard. I mean, nerdRage are holding a little bit further back on their shutter, so looks like Nunya will be able to take some positioning, and we'll have to see if Nunya will be able to get into second, and if they do, maybe Nunya will be able to make the last push work.
You can't help but feel a little bit nervous here for nerdRage after they spent so much time on their the opposing second point here, and suddenly they just flick back to their other last point. They might be psyching themselves out because they're not expected to lose here. Oh, Blade does get the wraparound kill. He might even get the drop onto Kondog, but he's a man of steel. He will not pop that Uber for nobody. Even sitting at 34 health, looking at Blade in the eye, thinking, "You're not made of shit, kid."
Yeah, Blade did go for that drop down play, and he was able to just completely. I think he just took out 1 scout, and then he nearly was nearly able to pick up Kondog. So that didn't happen though. His team were able to clean him up. So we will see Nunya trying to get it into the second point, but at the moment it looks like they're just waiting around in this yard. I mean, Medico maybe wants to bring this in. We could see an Uber trade happening right now, but nerdRage kind of hanging around this left-hand side. Poppy has he's kind of alone here on his left, but Ratslayer getting actually picked up. So this might be really bad for Nunya. They are just going to use this Uber charge though.
Oh no, this is a dreadful pop. This is a horrible pop. So Umbrak will force out. I think he could have afforded to not use his Uber there, but they're finding the kills, and with that kill onto Ratslayer earlier, they were effectively actually there were a lot more players down than what I was about to say, so there might as well be a wipe over on the side of Nunya. Yeah, sorry Frysk, I just want to say that it all started from Ratslayer going down from the automatic door there. I don't know what he expected to be behind that door, but it's going to be a sticky trap, of course.
Yeah, it's just these scouts, Neo and Blade, they just, in that past minute or two, they just seem to be hitting so many shots. But as we see nerdRage taking this into this lunchbox area, maybe they'll be able to make this work. It looks like they do have positioning in second, maybe to get some time on the point. Nunya are holding on this shutter door. It doesn't look like they want to commit super hard to this. I don't think they have the Uber. Of course, they will have pretty much equal Uber with Umbrak, but Umbrak will just about have his Uber charge up. So it looks like Nunya are going to offer this just to back it up, but it looks like nerdRage already want to bring the supercharge in, and Kondog was so close to Uber, but he will actually get picked up. So this is really good here for nerdRage. This is so many weak players, and it's just Crafty Dave now, and well, they're going to be able to pick up this second round.
They were holding on to that second point so sheepishly, Frysk, that they just threw it at nerdRage, hoping they would be happy, but they decided to actually go one step further and sneak in from the top area, see if they can just get on top of Kondog there. And the way he was positioned, where they were holding to kind of hold that second point from arm's reach, he was kind of caught into a bad position where he can't really run away. So he was caught out by Medico, by Blade, and from there it was just the rest of the nerdRage DM.
Wow, Ratslayer just had a really nice sticky snipe onto Namtak, the demo man for nerdRage, but that's pretty much won on this mid. Blade is behind in their ramp room. I'm not sure if he was spotted. I don't think they know he's there, so he could go for a play here to block this. And he has shown himself, but I think he might just have some kind of distraction play cooking, as there is 1 minute and 30 seconds left. He might just try and waste as much time as he can. He is being chased here, but you know, it looks like Nunya are in this yard area, and they might want to take the supercharge in. There's only a minute left, so they're going to have to be quick here if they want to take another round.
Yeah, eye on the prize over on Nunya. They're trying to get in, but they've got an Ubercharge to deal with on nerdRage, and that just makes things so difficult. So right now they can't afford to be making any mistakes, so it's a good start so far. They've taken out Blade, and they're thinking they're going to have to be greedy with this if they want to make this work and transition into a full round. So they want to see if they can just edge this off, but nerdRage keeping up the right plays, spamming it off. They will actually get the drop onto Medico before Umbrak can latch onto him. So that's a nice little uppity start, but they lose Rat Slayer. That is not the play we wanted to make now, but now they have to make the final stand. They have to just go into the meat grinder and hope that they can come out the other side unscathed, and they're doing a good job of it. They pushed them out. I think nerdRage were just feeling too hot in the kitchen there. They just had to get out and just not risk things right now, but in doing so, they're kind of pussying out. They have risked everything. Oh, they actually get the pick onto Crafty Dave from them, just Nunya being just as greedy themselves, getting onto the point, not realising that a demo man sticky is a thing in this game. So that's just them being very desperate over on the side of Nunya. Kind of compromise your decision making because you feel like you have to make something happen. And I think if they just played just a tiny bit smarter there, they might have pulled it off.
Yeah, I think nerdRage are just kind of able to focus down the individual players of Nunya during that push, but it was not the ideal situation for Nunya. There was about like 10 seconds left, but they weren't able to pick up that round. But a close game to about 2-1 to nerdRage. Were you expecting such a long game in terms of just this round? I think our second round was maybe 15 minutes long.
Again, another nail biter. It was a joy to see, but this time we got like a slower game instead. It was a nice change of pace for once.
Yeah, I mean, maybe nice change of pace, granary, stalemates. Nice isn't the word, perhaps, but it was certainly a change of pace. But Nunya did well. You know, they certainly had they had their opportunities, and they did really well, holding their last point for I don't even know how long, maybe 10 minutes, against nerdRage, trying to find some way to push in, but they were ultimately unable to keep them out long enough for a golden cap.
Well, we have got the logs now, so is there anything that is jumping out at you in particular for Sky? I'm seeing a nice, what is it, 5-digit damage on the board there coming out from one of the players. Is that Medico?
I think it is. It is Medico. Yeah, Medico I think was the main target of a lot of the Ubers, and was able to do quite a lot of damage. Ratslayer, he played pretty well actually. Was able to actually out-damage Namtak by quite a considerable amount. So, I mean, I think Namtak, he seemed to be taking a lot more damage and maybe getting called out a bit too much, but I mean, looking at kills, it was a relatively low fragging game. I mean, top frags is 16 kills here for Yellen and Medico, so yeah.
A real game of chess. It was just all coming down to the decision making and these little tiny one-off plays, really, than the scrambled mess. But we did catch a little bit of that scrambled mess on mids here and there, and both teams really just rising up against one another, just showing off that they can take rounds, take mids as well as rounds from each other quite evenly. So maybe the gap between 7th place and 3rd place isn't as big as we thought, Frysk.
Maybe. I was not expecting such a performance from Nunya, but it was those were two really exciting maps. And I think just coming back to the logs, I've just noticed Medico has 22 air shots. I'm pretty sure that's not accurate. But
what?
It does say that, but
How?
I'm not sure. But yeah, I think Medico and Korvac certainly they played quite well that game. I think I got to give it to the soldiers for nerdRage.
What was he doing during these I guess, stalemates? Was he just skeet shooting in between? Just
I'm not entirely sure, but there you have it.
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty hyped for an air shot. I like to think I keep an eye out for these air shots, but he's clearly got them under wraps during this game. Oh baby. Anyway, I'm looking at the heal percentages right now, and surprisingly, I thought Ratslayer would be kind of dominating on the heal percentage, but he's actually splitting it off with his pocket quite nicely. I guess maybe the stalemates make managing those percentages a bit easier.
Yeah, and I mean on the side of nerdRage, Namtak getting a little less heals. I mean Neo getting the same percentage of heals to his demo man. I mean that might have attributed to maybe the lower damaging game here from Namtak, but I think Neo and Blade as well had their moments where they were just not missing a single shot, and they were just able to clean up the scouts of Nunya.
It actually looks like on the side of Nunya that they were winning in the medic department just ever so slightly. Just you can see all the stats are just a tiny smidgen lower for Frysk for Condog.
I just felt like Condog was playing a lot better that game. I know before the game we said that Condog, if he died, that meant Ratslayer died, or vice versa. But it seemed like he was able to stay alive a little bit more. But I mean, looking at the medic deaths, Umbrak only with 4 deaths to Condog 7. So I mean, that didn't seem to help nerdRage too much. I mean, they just about closed out this win.
So we saw a bit of flavour from both teams there, Frysk. Like, which team is better at being slow or being fast? If you were the coach for one of these teams, like for example, if you were Nunya's coach, what would you say is their best bet? Going slower or going faster?
I think.
Oh wow, they actually won every single mid. Okay. I thought they actually. Wow, that is an incredibly surprising start. I think I'm thinking of the first round where they pushed them into second. And I thought they won the mid there.
Yeah, coming out really strong in the mids, but I think I have to give it to like Nunya for they played pretty well when nerdRage were taking literally forever to push last. I think the third round was 17 minutes long, but I think Nunya can certainly play really well if they just like try and go a little bit faster. I think in their hulls they're a little bit too quick maybe to kind of just give up the point and retreat, but I think probably nerdRage. Not, I mean, nerdRage certainly play a bit more of a faster paced game. They're kind of always pushing, if that's one way to describe it. But it didn't look like they were able to really play that style in this granary map.
I think they just don't know what to do when things get really halted down to a complete stop. When things are getting really stalematy, it's just like a whole new level for them. Like, I don't think it's something they've quite conquered. But, and over on the Nunya side, if I had to make a diagnosis, it's just these little tiny decision makings that you kind of look at and you're like, why would they do some things like peek these certain doors, or make these certain plays, or stay in the certain positions that they were.
Yeah, I think in granary, I think just even you can kind of just see the tension, and I mean, especially considering almost an 18-minute round when it was tied up. We didn't see maybe as much aggression really from Nunya. I know Nunya ran a lot of crafty Dave on sniper, and they had that Girardi play, so we didn't really see any of that kind of thing. They just played a little bit safer.
Maybe we're looking at the teams too critically here. Maybe it's the map risk. I know Granary has been outlawed almost a little bit by some of these players, saying that it needs to get out. We need to get some new maps in, especially with these new map cups being thrown into the TF2 community's eyes for now. Do you think it's the problem with the map? Granary is just too old?
I mean, maybe this is such a debate. I think it's pretty split on if you feel like you either like Granary or you hate it. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but I suppose maybe nerdRage might not like Granary, especially considering how they were playing it. But, I mean, I personally am a huge fan of Granary, but I suppose it's because of games like this that kind of drag out and are quite low scoring, and you have a lot of stalemates. But I mean, I suppose the teams, it will be up to the teams to tell us. I know we do have Hamrak in here. You may have to talk to him in a little while, but yeah, I don't know. Granary, it's kind of a weird map.
Okay, I just want to quickly round out these logs one more time. I will get to Umbrak, I promise, but looking at this, what I like to call the Nemesis board, Frysk, it just goes to show who's been bullying who throughout this entire game, and Ratslayer, he's sitting at the top there. He's got Blade's number. The scouts weren't having such a good time on this Granary map compared to Gullywash, and Ratslayer, we've seen in the past that Demoman, when they shine on this Granary map, they do shine.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ratslayer seemed to be playing pretty well. I think he was playing, I don't know, he just seemed to stay alive a little bit more than maybe I'm used to watching of Ratslayer, but I suppose maybe that's what attributed to this being such a close game.
It's just the flank suffering from nerdRage, it seems, all over the board. Blade just couldn't find the play onto anywhere. Everyone was just kind of contributing on Nunya to shut him down as well as Buddy Callback. But I think that is all the stats now. We've all done and dusted. We can finally get to the man, the myth, the legend himself. Umbrak has joined us into the Mumble. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing okay.
Congratulations on another win, but I have to admit, Umbrak, I held my breath for a couple of moments there throughout the entire match. What was it like in the nerdRage Mumble?
nerdRage? Who is this guy? Yeah, it was way closer than what it should have been. And I've heard you talking about logs and map. I think that's these games where the logs doesn't really reflect how it went on the map, because we got out damage, out frag and stuff, but because we just kept throwing bodies at them when we were on their last. So like the logs don't. It's not like we were dominated or stuff like that. We just were on their last, which is it happens to be a really badly designed last, and we just kept throwing bodies because we had to do stuff. We had to try to make conduct force or stuff like that. So
yeah, you're completely right, Umbrak. I'm just a plebeian of TF2. I just put way too much thought into these logs like your average TF2 player nowadays. But so forgive me. But we were touching upon that. It may have been this granary that maybe teams aren't getting quite as hyped about it as they used to be. Is it time for granary to go bye-bye, Umbrak?
Yeah, but it's not. It was time for Granary to go like 3 seasons ago. It's not like a new stuff. Oh god, Granary is boring. We should get rid of it. Like people said it for like years, and I don't understand why it's still there, because it's boring to play and it's boring to watch. So why is it still there? It's not fun to watch for viewers. It's not fun to cast. It's not fun to play. Just get rid of it. There's so many better maps around.
I think it's just got such a huge name on it, Umbrak. It's got a legacy. I mean, imagine if you're bi to someone and you flick on TFTV and you look at all these newfangled maps, you're gonna get scared. You're like, what are these new things? I don't like these. I'll bring back the oldies.
Yeah, but you either die a hero or see yourself become the villain, you know?
Alright, well done. You've memed me. But
it's not. We're not even a bad team on Granary. Like we beat Champ on it. We beat Lemmings fairly convincingly. We're a good team on Granary. It's just when you add the last and the second and the mid, like all the match, and
you just said the entire match.
Yeah, like when you add Granary and the pressure that, like, it's unofficial. So of course you don't want to lose rounds. Of course you don't want to take risks. So these both things make a really, really boring map, a really stalemating map. And I'm pretty sure, like 100%, at the end of the season, there's going to be people saying, hey guys, maybe we should get rid of Granary. Many people will say yes, and there's going to be a retarded poll with like, would you like to have Metalworks or Granary? No one's going to say Metalworks, because it's weird, a weird map. People don't know the map yet. We played it like for 1 season, so you don't want to, people don't want to change, except Champ, I guess, but people don't want to change things because you don't know what's out there. So when you said you want to play Bagel, Coth Bagel, Granary, or Metalworks, people are gonna go with the easy pick, the safe pick. They're gonna go with Granary. So I think don't ask people, just try something. Like, we're not a big. Will it hurt the scene if we get rid of Granary? I don't think so. So let's just try it and see what's happening.
So, is there one map in particular that you'd like to see in place of Granary?
I don't know. I like Product a lot because there's momentum, there's aggression on this. I've never played Bagel, but I heard it was good, or like maybe decent, but like Granary is awful, so decent is better than awful. So like maybe try some Koth things or other CPs. I don't know. I like Sunshine, but I know many people don't like it as much as I do. But yeah, like get another Koth in, and by another, I don't say get rid of the other one to get a new one. Just get 2 Koth maps, get awesome games where people can actually shine by hitting air shots and stuff like that, and bye Granary. And I'm not saying that because we had a close game versus Nunya, because like they improved a lot in this season. People can always when they play Prem, they will always improve. So it's not just because we underperform versus a less good team. It's just the map itself isn't good.
Man, Umbrak, you just fired me up with so much passion. No wonder you
French
people are so good at these revolutions.
Well, I mean, getting away from Granary, I mean, let's talk a little bit about Gullywash. I suppose, were you expecting the game to kind of get a little bit tense? I think it was 2-2 at one point, and as well as that, what are your thoughts on the Girardi?
I think still it's a decent weapon. Oh, like no kidding. In 2 seasons of Girardi, it's the first time I'm being roamed by a Girardi soldier play. So like, I know people are gonna use it as, man, Girardi is OP. Look at that drop. It's not OP when you get. I dropped to it like once in 3 seasons. So it's not OP if you. It's like a cool combination that enhances team play, and we should keep it.
Here. Me and Frysk were very hyped to see the coordinator play. It's very shocking. I have already turned away from the Roma because I just saw Sentry Gun, and my TF2 brain just went like Sentry Gun plus Roma equals no kill. But the Girardi just opening avenues for these last picks. So we're going towards the tail end of the season now on Brack. It's usually I like to bring up I guess a chance for these teams to reflect on how you've done throughout the season. Now, I don't think I have to guess wildly to think what you think of your current season so far, but do you think like this was the best season that could have gone for not top5rocket, nerdRage? Do you think this was like the best season that could have happened, or do you think that there was a few bits and bobs that you weren't happy with?
When you play at that level, you always have things to improve. You always say you could have done better, and like we dropped 2 points to champ, so obviously we could have done better there. We had our chances versus 7, so yeah, of course it's a really good season, and I'm not gonna be like, nah, it's decent. We expected to be. We knew we were able to perform in such fashion. So it's not like a surprise to us. I know it's a surprise to you guys, to viewers, and like it's fair enough. We were 6th last season, so who knew we could do such games? But I don't know. Looking at the end of the season, we want to perform well. We don't have set goals in mind, really. To be honest, we don't have. Except we don't want to lose feeling we could have done better. We don't want to have a bittersweet taste in how we play. But I just think we need to keep up how we play. We had a bad week, I think, practice-wise. Like we got both 2 top games we got cancelled. We didn't keen as we should have, as much as we should have. So I think we should use this week to show, hey guys, nothing is won yet. And if we slow down, we just get owned because there are people out there who want to win as much as we do. But yeah, of course, we had a very good season, and no matter what happens, like we had, like I think we have three times more points than we had last season. We got an orc. We made ourselves a name. We got recognition. We got 2 rounds out of 7. So yeah, it's really good, but it's not over yet, and we want to do a bit more.
You're on the path. You're on the road to success, it seems. But I just want to think. I had a really good question as well, but you've completely forgot. Frysk, have you got any questions quickly while I try and regain my old man age?
Well, I mean, Amrak, I think you pretty much, yeah, you guys have made playoffs now. Are you? I mean, obviously you said you had no expectations, but I mean, do you think you'll be able to maybe get to this grand finals? I mean, who do you think will Champ GG be a tough team to get through? I mean, I know they've had some roster changes, but I mean, how are you feeling about playoffs?
I feel good because I know we have our chances. I know we will keen as fuck to be a good match. Sorry, I said a F word. But I don't know. Like Champ look very strong, but like I expressed myself about this earlier today, and I think they made a mistake. But it's up to them to show me I was wrong and to roll me in official if we happen to play them. But I don't know. I think we're in playoff. 7 is in playoff. And then it's like Champ, Lopender, Arctic Foxes. It's gonna be tough for Lopender, and we've beat Champ and Arctic Foxes in official, so we should be confident because we have proven ourselves in regular games.
I've got to ask Sombrak. I mean, the Champ GG that you played a little while ago is a different beast almost to this new Champ GG. Does this new Champ GG scare you, or do you see these roster changes as a blessing?
A bit of both, I guess, because old Champ had set plays, they had chemistry, they knew how to play well together, and even though they had the issues, I mean, old team had some issues, except maybe 7. So I don't know. This new team looks really strong on paper, but paper doesn't do everything on TF2. And I think the best proof is us, because if paper was everything, we wouldn't be on the second spot. So they're good. They already rolled us in PCW with Silentus and Spot. But we took a map as well, so nothing is set in stone yet. And the last season, we played Sona Slayers with Ale and Silentus, like just 3 days after they switched up their roster. So we knew what it's like to play a team one day and to play a completely different team the other day. And of course, they're still a good team. They have great names. But we are a great team as well, I think. We have chemistry. We want to play together and see how it goes. So I just look forward to the game if we happen to play them, because they're going to be good ones.
All right, I've got one last question on Bragg, and it is about the playoff structure and the way that you will actually be picking out maps and banning maps as well. Now, how much homework are you going to do in this regard? Are you literally just... Do you know which maps you're going to pick already off the fly, or are you just going to adapt it based on the team? What is the... Maybe, I know you probably can't reveal too much, but I'm just asking, are you prepared for your maps and bans?
We overall know what maps we're comfortable on and what map we dislike. Granary. But it's like, I think what is good about us is we're good on... We don't have weak maps. Even Granary, we don't like it, but it's a weak map. We have no weak maps. So
Famous last words.
Yeah, I guess we just pick whatever map we feel like, whatever the other team is, and we see how it goes.
All right, okay. Thank you very much, Ombrag. How about you, Frysk? Have you got any last questions at all?
Yeah, just quickly. Are you? I mean, you have. I think it's Lopander, right? Next week. Are you gonna
Ooh.
maybe change something about how you play, or are you just going to play the way you normally do, or do you think that Muki and his off-classing antics might be something that you'll have to consider and play differently against, or will you just run your normal game?
So you want me to review my strategies?
Ombrak, are you scared?
Oh,
Are you scared of Low Panda?
That's your choice,
I'm not
Ombrak.
scared, but I think it's going to be a cool game because they bring something new to the table, and I think you can only praise them for that. Even though I don't agree with how they play, but at least they try something new and they have results to show for it. So shout out to them, of course. But we're not underdogs anymore, and we have to embrace that position and to play our game. And if we play our game, there'll be no match for us, I think.
All right, thank you very much, Ombrak. This has been a wonderful interview, very eye-opening and passionate as well. To say, like every Ombrak interview. Now, for being such a great interviewee, I'm going to offer you a shout out to anybody out there. You can shout out to all the family if you want. Pretend it's your Oscars.
Shout out to my team, of course, for winning a game that wasn't easy. That showed improvements. Shout out to you guys for casting, of course. Shout out to viewers. I hope you guys were entertained. And shout out to people out there watching TF2 and loving the game. Shout out to Arctic Foxes, please. Have a decent game versus champ and show that just switching people doesn't make you a good team right away.
Oh man. Frysk, you got some shout outs. But yeah, I'm gonna let you actually close out the show. You're the Mr. Host, man.
All right, then, Turbo.
I'm gonna take the shout out microphone away from you. I'm gonna give a shout out to all of our staff at teamfortress.tv, the many cogs that turn to make this production and the whole site just work. So a big shout out to you guys watching out there, but a big shout out to, again, everybody, all the TF2 lovers that have decided to tune in for tonight, even if it seemed like a map that wasn't good on paper. But like Ombrak says, you shouldn't trust paper. Paper's bad. Just trust the TF2. So yeah, I think that's me done first.
All right.
Shout out to Amik because he's the production. We should always shout out to him. Hail Amik.
Ah, yes, Amik, you good lad. Yeah, I'll start off with that. Shout out to Amik. Always does a good job in production. Shout out to both these teams, nunya and nerdRage, for some interesting maps. And thanks, Ombrak, for coming in for this interview. Also, TurboTabs, thanks for casting with me this evening. But shout out to everybody at Team Fortress TV. And I will shout this random guy out in chat, Sprite TF2. There you go, buddy. You have your shout out. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Be sure to follow us on Twitch. Check us out on Team Fortress TV. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. For now, from all of us at TFTV, good evening and goodbye.